They don't even know I exist, right?
From iconic institutions to quirky newcomers, these restaurants ultimately disappeared. Let's look back at the 10 worst failed chain restaurants that no one misses.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Aunt Jemima's Kitchen.
Come on over here, sugar.
Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima's Kitchen. This one is a real head-scratcher. You might recognize the name from the popular pancake mix and syrup brand before it changed its name to Pearl Milling Company. But did you know that Aunt Jemima's Kitchen was actually a restaurant chain? It all started in 1955 when the first location opened under the name Aunt Jemima's Pancake House. But it wasn't until 1962, during the Civil Rights Movement, that the restaurant chain became known as Aunt Jemima's Kitchen. So what happened to this once popular chain? Well, it turns out that the character of Aunt Jemima became increasingly controversial as the Civil Rights Movement gained momentum. The character was based on a racial stereotype of a mammy, a submissive black woman who worked as a servant for white families. The use of this caricature in advertising and branding came under scrutiny, and the restaurant chain began to receive criticism for perpetuating harmful stereotypes.
I not use the N-word.
Oh, the other N-word. No?
Eventually, Aunt Jemima's Kitchen became a relic of a bygone era, and the brand was retired in the early 1970s. While the pancake mix and syrup remain popular to this day under its new name, the restaurant chain is a distant memory. It just goes to show you that even the most popular brands can fall out of favor if they don't adapt to changing times. Roadhouse Grill.
This steak is medium rare. I asked for it medium.
Y'all remember Roadhouse Grill? This place was the go-to spot for casual dining and mouth-watering steaks back in the day. Unfortunately, the chain didn't survive the financial turmoil of the late 2000s and ultimately went under. Roadhouse Grill was founded in 1992 and quickly gained popularity in the eastern part of the United States. With its rustic decor and menu of delicious steaks, burgers, and other classic American fare, it was a hit with families and groups of friends alike. But after years of expansion and financial struggles, the chain filed for bankruptcy in late 2007. Despite efforts to turn things around, all remaining locations were forced to close in May 2008. It was a sad end for a restaurant chain that had brought so much joy to its customers over the years. But there's a silver lining to this story. In 2009, 3 employees of a former New York location decided to resurrect the Roadhouse Grill concept under a new name, Buffalo Roadhouse Grill.
I'll be back. You've been back enough. I'll be back.
They offered a similar menu of steaks and classic American dishes, but also added some local specialties like beef on rack and buffalo wings. It's always nice to see a beloved restaurant brand get a second chance, even if it is on a smaller scale. Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Chicago! The Big Apple!
If you grew up in the Chicago area in the 1970s, you might have fond memories of Yankee Doodle Dandy, a hamburger restaurant chain that was popular in the late 60s and 70s. Brothers Chris and Bill Preuss started the first Yankee Doodle House in Bensenville, Illinois in 1966. The chain grew rapidly with as many as 27 restaurants in the Chicago area by 1976. One of the most notable things about Yankee Doodle Dandy was its unique and memorable design. The restaurant had a distinctive red, white, and blue motif with a design and menu that was similar to other fast food chains of the day like Burger King and Burger Chef. But what really set Yankee Doodle Dandy apart was its advertising.
It is the best.
Their slogan was, "Come on down where the good times are, Yankee Doodle Dandy." But despite its initial success, the chain went out of business in the early 1980s. The Preuss family decided to refocus their efforts on the casual dining restaurant and bar industry. They converted 2 of the company-owned Yankee Doodles into a new restaurant and bar concept called Bailey's, while closing the rest of the fast food operations. First time here? Then how about hitting that subscribe button? It's quick, it's easy, and it's free.
Thank you. Next!
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Order!
Cheeseburger, please.
If you're a fan of Jimmy Buffett's music, you might have heard of Cheeseburger in Paradise. This casual dining theme restaurant chain was founded in 2002 as a partnership between Margaritaville Holdings, owned by the iconic musician, and OSI Restaurant Partners. The concept was simple: create a restaurant that embodied the laid-back, tropical vibe of Buffett's music and lyrics. The first restaurant opened in Indiana in 2002, and by 2007, there were 38 locations locations across the United States. The menu featured a variety of tropical-inspired dishes, including burgers, seafood, and cocktails, all served in a beachy atmosphere complete with palm trees and tiki decor.
Tiki time. Yes.
Despite initial success, Cheeseburger in Paradise faced financial difficulties in the following years. In September 2009, the restaurant chain was sold to Paradise Restaurant Group. However, the change in ownership did not improve the restaurant chain's performance. In December 2012, Luby's, a cafeteria-style restaurant chain, purchased Paradise Restaurant Group for $11 million, acquiring all of the Cheeseburger in Paradise restaurants. This transaction ended Jimmy Buffett's association with the chain. Despite Luby's efforts to improve the chain's performance, most of the restaurants closed by 2014, and the last location closed in September 2020. Red Barn.
There's a barn?
What is your fascination with barns?
Red Barn was a fast food restaurant chain founded in 1961 in Springfield, Ohio. The chain was quite forward-looking with their food choices, including the Big Barney, a hamburger similar to a Big Mac, and the Barn Buster, similar to a Quarter Pounder or Whopper. Red Barn was the first chain to have self-service salad bars. At its peak, Red Barn had 300 to 400 restaurants in 19 states, as well as outlets in Canada and Australia.
Australia, mate!
In 1978, ownership of the franchise was purchased by United Servomation, who were not interested in fast food and only focused on real estate, construction, and financial services. The new owners ceased advertising for the chain, along with allowing the franchise leases to expire, leading to the eventual decline of the chain. The last of the leases expired around 1988, leading to the shutdown of operations. Most of the Red Barn buildings were converted for other uses. A few of the chain's restaurants were renamed The Farm in various states and continued serving the same menu items available under their Red Barn franchise. However, the number of The Farm locations declined over the years. Arthur Treacher's.
Fishy! Fish and chips.
Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips was an American fast food seafood chain that enjoyed immense popularity in the late 1970s, with over 800 locations. However, as of a recent count, there are only 2 standalone Arthur Treacher's locations remaining. The menu primarily features fried seafood or chicken, accompanied by chips, French fries. The chain's namesake, Arthur Treacher, was an English character actor known for his performances as Jeeves and as a butler in Shirley Temple films. Although he did not confirm any financial involvement in the restaurants, he did act as a spokesperson, emphasizing the British character of the food.
The English contribution to world cuisine. The chip.
He would occasionally visit the restaurants in a red double-decker bus. Despite its early success, Arthur Treacher's began to experience financial difficulties in the late 1970s and was sold to Mrs. Paul's Seafood. The new owners failed to maintain the quality of the food, and the chain went into a decline. The restaurant struggled to compete with other fast food chains, such as McDonald's and Burger King, who were also expanding their menus to include seafood items. Steak and Ale.
Let's see, steak.
Steak and Ale was a popular American chain of casual dining restaurants that filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2008. Founded in Dallas, Texas in 1966, the chain grew to include 58 locations across the United States. However, despite its initial success, Steak and Ale was unable to withstand the challenges posed by a difficult economic climate and increasing competition from other restaurant chains. The restaurant was well known for its signature herb-roasted prime rib, New York strip, filet mignon, and spicy grilled chicken pasta, as well as its unlimited salad bar and free drink refills. Despite these popular menu items and the restaurant's loyal following, the chain ultimately struggled with declining sales and mounting debt. In 2008, the chain was forced to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and all 58 of its locations were closed.
I declare bankruptcy!
However, the brand, recipes, and other intellectual property associated with the former chain were acquired by legendary restaurant brands. While Steak and Ale has yet to make a comeback as a standalone restaurant chain, there are plans to open 15 new locations under the brand name sometime this year. It remains to be seen whether these efforts will be successful, but the restaurant's loyal fans remain hopeful that the beloved chain will once again rise to prominence in the American dining scene. Don Pablo's.
We only really serve Mexican food.
Don Pablo's was a popular chain of Tex-Mex restaurants that were known for their made-from-scratch salsas, tortillas, and other Mexican specialties. The restaurant chain was founded in Lubbock, Texas in 1985, and at one point had over 120 locations throughout the United States. The chain was the second-largest full-service Mexican restaurant chain in the U.S. during the late 1990s, second only to Chi-Chi's. There were several reasons for the decline and ultimate failure of Don Pablo's. One of the main reasons was the intense competition in the Mexican food industry. Other well-established chains like Chipotle and Qdoba had already captured a significant market share, making it challenging for Don Pablo's to compete.
Welcome to Chipotle. Thank you for your bravery.
Moreover, the changing tastes and preferences of the consumers also played a role in the restaurant's downfall. Customers were looking for healthier and fresher options, which Don Pablo's was unable to provide. Don Pablo's was acquired in 2014 by Food Management Partners, when the chain had 34 restaurants in 14 states. However, the new owners were unable to revive the struggling chain. By November 2018, the chain had reduced to only 3 restaurants in 3 states. The remaining restaurants closed over the next 7 months, with the last one in New Jersey closing in June of 2019. Clifton's Cafeteria.
Report to the cafeteria.
Clifton's Cafeteria, founded in 1931 by Clifford Clinton, was a chain of 8 restaurants known for their exotic decor and facades that were considered kitschy and theatrical. The restaurants were noted for their Christian ethos, which aimed to aid those who could not afford to pay. Clifton's Brookdale, the second Clifton's facility, which opened in 1935 and remained in operation for 74 years, was the only surviving location of the chain and the oldest surviving cafeteria-style eatery in Los Angeles. However, in November 2018, the cafeteria closed its doors for the last time and was replaced by a high-end bar called Clifton's Republic. The closure of Clifton's Cafeteria can be attributed to several factors, including changing consumer preferences, the rise of fast casual dining, and the restaurant's inability to adapt to modern times. While the restaurant's unique atmosphere and 1950s-style recipes were preserved during renovations by nightclub operator Andrew Murin, it was not enough to save the struggling business. Additionally, the high cost of running such a large cafeteria-style restaurant in the heart of Los Angeles likely contributed to its eventual closure.
It's too much. It's too much.
Despite its closure, Clifton's Cafeteria remains a beloved icon of Los Angeles dining history. Bikinis Sports Bar and Grill.
I can't believe you're taking me to a sports bar.
Bikinis Sports Bar and Grill was a chain of sports bars and restaurants in Texas that was known for its bikini babes. The chain was founded by Doug Guller in 2006, who came up with the idea while on vacation in Australia, where he was served a beer by an attractive waitress while watching rugby. Guller believed that the combination of sports, beer, and sex appeal would make the restaurant chain recession-proof.
This could be a game changer.
The chain quickly expanded, with 14 locations opening throughout Texas, most of them in the Interstate 35 corridor. However, Bikinis Sports Bar and Grill closed all of its locations on December 3, 2018. The chain's failure has been attributed to several factors, including changing attitudes, increased competition from other restaurant chains, and a shift in consumer preferences towards healthier eating options. Critics have also pointed out that the restaurant's focus on the sexualization of women may have alienated potential customers, particularly women who may have found the concept offensive. Additionally, some have suggested that the restaurant's emphasis on beer and sports may have limited its appeal to a narrow demographic, which may have made it difficult to sustain long-term growth. Ultimately, these factors combined to make Bikinis Sports Bar and Grill an unstable business model, leading to the chain's ultimate demise.
It is what it is.
Tune in to more great videos. Just tap or click. First time here? Then leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.